Hi, I'm Daniel Gold, and welcome to the Leadership Lab. By day, I'm a partner at BDO USA, but this podcast is my personal passion project, completely separate and apart from my day job, but reflect the same passion that I exhibit everywhere for teaching, mentoring, and helping others succeed through simple, impactful lessons. It is my hope that you'll walk away with practical takeaways to help you on your leadership journey. Thanks for being a part of this community and for joining me in the Leadership Lab. Let's get started. We don't need another productivity hack or time management system. What we need is honest conversations about how rest supports sustained leadership performance. When senior leaders show up exhausted, they create cultures where burnout becomes the badge of honor. When they make time to step away completely, they create space for others to do the same. The difference isn't just personal, it's organizational. I believe this to my core and why I practice what I preach. It's also the reason why I'm recording this from my own time away from the office from my day job. The fear behind the always on executive. Too many leaders pride themselves on constant availability. They wear their midnight email responses like medals, stay plugged in during every vacation, or avoid taking time off entirely. But beneath that relentless pace sits fear. Fear of being seen as replaceable, fear of falling behind, or fear of losing control. Over time, that fear becomes contagious. It spreads through the organization until exhaustion becomes the cultural norm. During my 2 decades in leadership, I've watched brilliant executives burn out talented teams simply by modeling the wrong behavior, the unsustainable behavior. Companies offer paid time off, yet many senior leaders rarely take it, or if they do, they don't fully disconnect. They keep one foot in, responding to messages or giving input on projects. And the result, well, their teams follow suit. People stop taking their own time seriously because they've learned that rest isn't respected, it's tolerated. Reframing rest as leadership responsibility. It is a broken message. Time off isn't a luxury, but rather it is part of the job. Just like meetings, deliverables, and strategy sessions, time away has a clear purpose. It gives your nervous system space to reset. It gives your brain a break from constant context switching. It's where real clarity returns. When leaders return from meaningful time off, they often bring a sharper focus, greater patience, and more grounded energy. And that, as we've discussed before, has positive ripple effects across every level of the organization. The most effective leaders I know don't just talk about work life balance, they model it and do so with intentionality. They take a Friday off and tell their team why. They book a staycation and log off completely. They come back and say, that was exactly what I needed. That kind of honesty creates trust. It tells people you don't have to run yourself into the ground to lead well here. The cultural cost of burnout leadership. Burnout doesn't arrive all at once, but rather it creeps in quietly. One skipped vacation, one extra work weekend, one more night of pushing through instead of resting. But when leaders ignore their own limits, the people around them start doing the same. Morale drops, creativity shrinks, engagement fades, and before long, the culture becomes one where people are present but not really alive in their work. Taking time off isn't about laziness or disengagement. It is about sustainability. It is about true leadership, because true leadership is long haul work. If you don't recover well, you don't lead well. Your decisions will be reactive instead of clear. Your presence will feel rushed instead of grounded. And the tone that you set will be one of constant urgency, which eventually burns out even your top performers. Building systems that scale without you. The most respected leaders that I know that stepping away is part of scaling effectively. They build systems that run without them. They delegate trust and prepare their team to lead in their absence. They're not creating dependence, they are building organizational strength, because when your team knows you trust them enough to unplug, they grow, they blossom, and when they see you come back better, they learn that rest is, in fact, part of the rhythm of high performance leadership. There's also a practical layer to all of this. Companies are paying for your time off. That is not an accident. Paid time off exists because smart businesses understand that rest drives performance. So take the time, take the long weekend, take the full week. You have earned it, and more importantly, your leadership depends upon it. The Executive Action Plan for Sustainable Leadership. If you are serious about modeling health, clarity, and sustainable performance, start with your calendar. Block the time, protect it, use it, and when you return, talk about it. Normalize the practice of stepping back so others feel empowered to do the same. That is not a weakness, that is culture building. Leaders who take rest seriously create organizations that last. They show their teams what it means to be fully present and not constantly drained. They remind everyone that the work will always be there, but a healthy leader makes better decisions, builds stronger teams, and shows up with greater focus and care. When rest becomes part of your leadership discipline, everything gets better. The work will always be there, but your energy and clarity will not. Make the choice that separates good leaders from great ones. Ready to lead without burnout? Before I wrap up, I want to ask for a small favor. If you found value in what you read today and what you are listening to with each week's podcast, I'd like to ask you to subscribe to the Gold Standard Leadership if you don't already, because this could be the next step in your leadership journey. We are building a community of leaders who believe in sustainable excellence without burnout, and it takes just a moment to subscribe. But it could change how you approach leadership for years to come. Remember, leadership isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Take this lesson, put it into action, and continue setting the gold standard in your own life and at work. See you next time.